Many of us wait on life. We wait on life to give us a promotion. We wait on life to give us our dream woman. We wait on life to celebrate us. But you know what's the worst one? The absolute worst one? We wait for life to define us. We wait for life to tell us who we are. We wait for evidence in the outside world to show us who we are, rather than allowing the outside world to mirror who we are on the inside. And sometimes our reality is ugly, but sometimes the world is just playing catch up to who you really are. If you're putting in the work, if you're working on yourself daily, if you're growing daily. The purpose of today's video is choose who you are before life chooses it for you. Many of us walk around bitter, walking around feeling underappreciated, not seen, complaining about, why can't a woman approach me? Why can't a woman approach me? Why can't I get the job promotion that I think I deserve? Bro, as men, we have so many options. We create society, we rule society, we lead, we're leaders by nature. Animals obey us. Creatures that could eat us and kill us instantly obey us. That lets you know the Most High created us to rule and have dominion. But you know the problem is, most of us don't even have dominion over ourselves. Most of us can't control our emotions, can't control our eating habits, can't control our bodies, can't control our minds. We allow ourselves to overthink, we allow ourselves to spiral, we allow our emotions to dictate our actions. Oh, I'm tired, so I don't really feel like doing shit today, so I'm not. And you know what it really is? It's because you allow life to define you instead of defining life, instead of you choosing to define yourself. You may be someone who has so much potential and you know it, but you know why you never live it through? Is because you're afraid. You're afraid to take a chance on yourself. You may even see success in your life. You might have a good job. You may be in shape, you know, things like that. But you're always feeling empty. And it's because all the success, all those external goals that you've been chasing, they don't mean anything to you because you're so worried about the external world instead of the inner world, instead of becoming a man who's worthy of accomplishments. You think accomplishments make the man when really you make the accomplishments. A lot of us are victims of saying, once 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 I have the physique, then I'll get the woman. Once I have the money, then they'll respect me. No, when you respect yourself first is when people will respect you. That's how it works. When you are disciplined and consistent and diligent enough to get shredded, then then you'll make yourself more attractive. You don't become that afterwards, you become that during it. And that's probably why you procrastinate, is because you look at the external goal and you say, okay, this is what I want. But it never drives you enough because you don't really believe that's who you are. You don't really believe you have what it takes. You may be able to be motivated for like a month, maybe 2 months. But you know what makes discipline for me so easy is that I embody discipline. I'm not just disciplined with my fitness, I'm disciplined with my relationships. I'm disciplined with my eating habits. I'm disciplined with the way I dress, my routines, my systems in my life. I don't see discipline as something as I don't have or I have. I see it as everyone has discipline, but how much percentage points do you actually have, or how much percentage points are you actually using of it? And it's something that we could all get better at. But to get back on topic, you allow life to define your discipline levels rather than you defining how disciplined you actually can be. You allow life to define who you are versus choosing who you want to be, which is why you feel stuck in your life. You have to choose who you want to become before life chooses for you. Because when life chooses for you, shit is going to be hard for you. You're going to feel empty. You're going to lack confidence. You're going to lack self belief. You're not going to be able to trust yourself. You may be able to lead yourself in some aspects of your life, but here comes a woman who shakes you off your feet. There you go, crashing down. There you go, you lost everything. There you go, you can't even focus on the job. This is reality. This is reality. I went through it. I allowed external things in the outside world shake me up, and the Lord taught me real quick, you have to lean on me, lean on the Most High. I gave you the talents and the gifts to withhold everything. If I'm showing you in your life that you have these things, it's because you're able to handle it. You have to trust yourself. You have to trust me. We don't really have procrastination issues, you know, like issues with discipline. We have identity issues. We don't see ourselves as worthy. We're blocking ourselves. We're scared because this version of us has to die to get to the next level. If you want to become more confident, well, you know what you have to do? You have to kill the little bitch inside of you. You have to be confident before you actually are confident. It takes a while for the world to catch up, but it takes a moment for you to make the conscious choice. I am confident. That's it. There you go. I'm confident. And then you walk like you're confident. You talk like you're confident. That's conviction. And then you believe it. But it takes time for your inner world to believe it. Then it takes time for your outer world to believe it. I became really disciplined when began to actually define myself as disciplined. I didn't define myself by how I was disciplined. I defined myself by I am disciplined. Even before I had the physique, even before I had the eating habits down, even before I had my morning routines in check. You have to choose who you want to be before life chooses for you, because then you will live a life of misery. Then you won't have any standards. Then you won't have any boundaries, and you'll constantly be without direction, and you'll constantly be lost. And you'll be watching videos like mine and other people on this self-improvement platform talking about, how do I become better? How do I stop procrastinating? It's because you haven't made that shift yet. You don't see yourself as enough. You don't see yourself as worthy. You live in survival mode instead of thriving. You do shit because that's who you are versus you do shit because you need to get the validation from that thing. This is reality. I'm disciplined and that shit is easy for me because I made this shift a long time ago. When I was 230 pounds, when I said I'm gonna have abs, when I said I'm gonna have to become disciplined, I made the shift in that moment. 2 years later, I still don't have the fucking abs. But you know what? I am fucking disciplined. And it bled to every aspect of my life. Allow yourself to dream. Allow yourself to, define yourself and validate yourself. That's the beauty of life as men. We get to fuck life before life fucks us. We get to define life. The Most High will show you who you are through your reality. He will reflect certain things back to you. But when He sees you're cultivating your inner garden, when you're facing your fears, when you're looking to grow, He will add blessings into your life. And it takes time for your body to adjust and your mind to adjust, which is why you freak out when you get blessings. But eventually you realize you're actually capable of everything that you want. Not only that, you become someone who is capable to handle everything you want in your life. But it starts with taking that moment to choose who you are. That's what makes things like discipline easy, dominance easy, consistency. Because you chose. You could even choose today after this video. I'm going to choose to be disciplined. And when you're making these identity shifts, give yourself time. You know, for me to really get disciplined in the gym, it took me about like 6 months, probably if that. I would go 2 to 3 times a week. That didn't meet my standard. Started going 4 times a week. That kind of met my standard. Got stuck in that for a while. Then I started going 5 times a week, 6 times a week. Now sometimes I go 5 times a week, twice a day. Like what the fuck? You know, for some people that's overkill. I'm pretty sure it is. You know, but it's because it's who I am. I want to express myself the best way that I can, and I feel as fitness is the best way to show I have dominance over my body, which is why I push myself so hard. I'm making the body's not making me. Fuck life before life fucks you. That's it for today.